So on that tip, we're going to go straight into our LL tips. And this is in from one of our viewers. As I said before, people, keep on messaging us. We do actually read them all. Messaging us, hit us up on all of our socials. But this particular LL tip comes in from one of our readers. And I'm going to read it out to you guys. You tell me your thoughts. Should I move in with my late best friend's partner? We love each other and became really close while mourning his wife, who was also my friend. We love each other and he asked me to move in. That is all that's been said, y'all. What's your opinion? Hit me up.
Why is Cody here looking at me?
I don't want to look at you.
I don't know. There seems to be something on my face today.
Best friend's husband.
I'm just trying to process it in my head.
Yes.
You know, I'm processing it and not wanting to jump into conclusions. You know.
So let me remind you, it's a woman whose friend, her best friend, has passed away. Before she passed away, she was married to a gentleman. When she passed away, the best friend and the late husband mourned the passing of this lady. And in their mourning, they became very close in an intimate manner, to the point that the man has now asked this lady, the best friend who's alive, to move in with him. What should she do, or what do you think your opinions are on this?
I think for me, if genuinely there was nothing before when the friend was alive, I think grief is such a what's the word? It's such an intense period for anyone that loses someone they love in their life. And I think that if they genuinely love each other, they should consider everything else, like the kids. What would people say? Because the first thing that came to my mind was, were they already having feelings for each other before the lady died? So they should consider that part. And if they're strong enough to be able to go forward, love is a beautiful thing. And yeah, it's weird. If they're both, I think it's the lady that died will always be in their mind, like both of them, and people will always look at them. So, for example, not just moving, if they get married together, for me, it'd be great for the kids because there's that already. If they have, I don't know if they have kids. If they had kids, it'd be good because for the kids, it's someone they already know, and you know. But if they don't have kids, that's a different story. But I think I don't know. Love is a beautiful thing, and if it's genuine love between both of them, then why not?
Okay, well, I know. So what I think Stephanie did mention grief, and you know, there's the grief curve where you start at one point and you move on to the end of that point where you've accepted that this has happened. Let's make sure that they're not somewhere on this grief curve, both of them, where they're looking for some sort of comfort and some sort of something to help them through this time. Because if they're in that phase and that time passes, then what felt like love could turn to hate, and the resentment could creep in that will now be lasting and will destroy them even more. So if they're grieving, maybe this is not the time to move in together. Just maybe, when we get these questions, we're not there with them. We don't know the situation. We don't know every word that has been said and every event that has passed. But perhaps it'll be wise to consider giving things time, because they're both grieving. They're both grieving. The friend is grieving, the husband is grieving. They may think this is the right thing for now, but maybe not. Maybe give it time, I think it's better to, and we don't also know how long this has been. People grieve for a lifetime, really, so it's wise to give it time.
That's what I was going to say to you, that what is the curve? So some people that lose loved ones, they're grieving all their life. They still think about the person daily. And so how long is the time that you suggest they wait?
There is no time. People grieve.
They actually get it.
Yeah, people grieve. And this is quite personal. My husband is a lot of years older than me. I only found out that I probably was grieving my dad when I got married. That's why it was okay for me to marry someone who was that much older than me. But thankfully, my husband is an amazing man. Yeah. So I was in safe hands.
It could have gone the other way.
It could have gone the other way. So when I started doing psychotherapy, I realized that maybe this is what it was, because this was just 2 years after I lost my dad. Yeah. And then my husband came along. who wore white shirts like my dad, who was very fatherly and very loving, and you know, it was easy for me to get married to him. And I told him this, and he does agree that that is what it could have been, because the age difference is massive. You know, so people, everybody knows till today, I talk about my dad almost every day. We were very close, and now I have a representation of him as husband. So people grieve, and they grieve very long. So be careful, because as you say, it can go the other way. And people, I was listening to an interview with Jim Ike, and he talked about losing his mom, you know, and how that grieving broke his marriage, you know. So a lot of things can happen while people are not in that right headspace. So it's better to slow down, give things time. You know, if there are children involved, get them the right help, the right people to talk with them. Give things time. Time works amazing things, you know. Don't rush into new relationships, or, you know, rush into doing things that you're not sure it's your right mind you're using to do them.
Yeah, definitely. Cordelia, how do you feel?
I think if I were to advise you, I'll say take it one day at a time. Like literally everything that Tara said is so key about maybe where they both are in terms of mentally, their mental space at the moment. And just take it one day at a time, because these things are so much more complicated than we ever think. It's feelings, they've developed bonds, and nobody knows what tomorrow will bring. But for now, they're probably a good support system to each other. And of course, society is going to frown upon it, and people are going to come and say stuff to you. That's just how it works, because it doesn't sound good, to be honest. You know, that was your best friend. And like you said, the question will always come to mind. Have you guys been looking at each other? Or even if it's not both, but maybe one had been looking at the other one whilst the relationship was going on. So yeah, take it one day at a time and continue to be support system to each other. And I wish you guys the best, each to their own, really.
Yeah, definitely. You know, one of the things I think everything you guys have said is definitely on point. Ordinarily, I'll be like, just do your thing, man, chat. But it's just made me think, while I was sitting here listening to you guys, is that the fact that this person's actually written in, this is a really big situation for them. That it's affecting them in a big way. And I always take the standpoint in anything that takes you like, should I not? If you're asking yourself that question, take stock and stay where you are at that present time. Because if you move into something else, or I'm not saying this is the case, but like, for instance, if I'm shopping and I'm like, should I not? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Sakina, you don't need it. Let it go. Or Sakina, get it. Think about it at home. In other words, think about things. You are not under any obligation from anybody to do anything wrong. If you are, and this partner is telling you or making you feel forced, then I would be questioning if this is the right partner for you. So there's so many different things about this, but I definitely wouldn't leave it here. I would definitely encourage you to seek further help, to actually think about this. But ultimately, the decision is yours, but you need to be at peace with it. When you put your head on your pillow, are you at peace with it? Do you feel comfortable about it? And ultimately, it's got to be right for you. Like Data and Stephanie or Cordelia said, grief is a massive, massive thing, and it should never be taken for granted. It's your life. You're going through so many different things and changes. And one of the age-old things they teach us through counselling is that you should never make a big decision when you're going through something. You shouldn't cut your hair. You shouldn't just make drastic decisions. You should think things through. So take your time and think things through for you, because you're the most important person in this situation right now. It's you that you need to focus on. So that would be my total advice. And I can't believe we're coming to say farewell again.
Until next time.
Yes, it definitely is until next time. But I hope you guys are grateful to see us back. We're grateful to have you back.
And we're grateful to be back.
Definitely more. There's going to be more from us, but definitely, as I've been saying, get your fingers working, get on our socials, send your messages through, DM through, all the good stuff about what you want to see, any topics, anything that's going on, any LL tips that you've got going on. Bring the juice. This is Ladies Lounge and we are here for you. So thank you again, people. We shall see you on the next one.
Bye.